In this video, I'm going to show you how to create a will in Florida. I'll walk you step by step on how to create a will in Florida, the legal requirements, and what happens if you don't have one. So by the end of this video, you're going to have a better understanding on how to create a will in Florida. And by the way, if you would like to get help creating a will in Florida, you can reach out to my friends at lawdepot.com, and for your convenience, I'm going to leave a link to them down in the description of this video. And with that in mind, let's get right into it. Steps to create a will in Florida. Before delving into the details, let's start with a quick checklist outlining the steps to create a will in Florida. Asset selection. Determine which property and assets you want to include in your will. Beneficiary designation. Decide who will inherit your property and assets. Executor appointment. Choose an executor responsible for managing your estate. Guardian selection. If you have minor children, designate a guardian to care for them if you pass away. Property manager choice. Designate someone to oversee property left to minor children. Will drafting. Create your will, ensuring it adheres to Florida's legal requirements. Witness signatures. Sign your will in front of witnesses. Secure storage. Safely store your will and ensure your loved ones know where to find it when necessary. Why should I make a Florida will? A will, also referred to as last will and testament, plays a crucial role in safeguarding your family and assets in Florida. A will serves several key purposes. Asset distribution. You should specify how your assets and properties should be distributed among your chosen beneficiaries or organizations. Guardianship for minor children. Name a personal guardian to ensure your minor children are cared for according to your preferences. Property management. Designate a trusted individual to manage property you leave to minor children, safeguarding their interests. Personal representative appointment. Appoint a personal representative responsible for executing the terms of your will. What happens if I don't have a will? In Florida, if you pass away without a will, your property's distribution will be determined by the state's intestacy. In Florida, if you pass away without a will, your property's distribution will be determined by the state's intestacy laws. Florida's intestacy laws prioritizes your closest relatives, starting with your spouse and children. If you lack a spouse or children, the distribution extends to grandchildren, parents, and increasingly distant relatives, including siblings, grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins, and your spouse's relatives. In the absence of eligible relatives, the state takes control of your property. Do I need a lawyer to make a will in Florida? While it's not mandatory to hire a lawyer to create a will in Florida, consulting an attorney can be beneficial in certain situations. For example, if you anticipate potential will contents or wish to disinherit your spouse, seeking legal advice is advisable. Alternatively, you can utilize online resources like Law Depot to create a valid will while complying with Florida's legal requirements. Requirements for making a will in Florida. To create a legally valid will in Florida, you must meet the following requirements. Age and capacity. You must be 18 years of age or older, or an emancipated minor, and of sound mind. In this context, of sound mind means understanding the implications of making a will, being aware of the property you own, recognizing and recalling your relatives, not having a mental health disorder leading to delusions or hallucinations affecting your property decisions. Additionally, Florida does not recognize oral or horographic wills that are not witnessed. Traditionally, wills in Florida have been made on hard copy or an actual paper. However, Florida now allows wills to be in a digital format. How do I sign my Florida will? To finalize your will in Florida, follow these steps. Sign your will or acknowledge it in front of two witnesses. Have your witnesses sign your will in front of you and each other. Specifically, you must sign at the end of your will. It's important to note that while Florida law allows an interested person who stands to inherit under your will to serve as a witness, it's usually not a good idea. Do I need to have my will notarized? No. In Florida, you do not need to notarize your will to make it legal. However, Florida allows you to make your will self-proving if you wish to do so. A self-proving will expedites probate because the court can accept the will without contacting the witnesses who signed it. To make your will self-proving, you and your witnesses will go to a notary and sign an affidavit that proves your identities and your understanding of signing the will. Should my will name a personal representative? Yes. In Florida, it is advisable to name a personal representative in your will. The individual will ensure that the provisions in your will are carried out after your passing. Law Depot can generate a letter to your personal representative outlining their responsibilities. If you do not name a personal representative, the probate court will appoint someone to manage your estates. Can I revoke or change my will? In Florida, you have the freedom to revoke or amend your will at any time. You can revoke your will by burning, tearing, canceling, defacing, obliterating, or destroying your will yourself with the intent to revoke it. Instructing someone else to do any of the acts listed above in front of you. Making a new will or codicil that explicitly revokes the prior one or contains contradictory terms. For making changes to your will, it is generally best to revoke the old will and create a new one. However, if you only need minor adjustments, you can add an amendment to your existing will, referred to as codicil. In both cases, ensure that you follow the same formalities used to create your original will. If you and your spouse divorce, or if a court determines that your marriage is not legal, Florida law revokes any language in your will that leaves property to your spouse or names your spouse to be your personal representative. The rule does not apply if you specifically state in your will or divorce decree that divorce should not affect the provisions in your will. Can I make a digital or electronic will? Florida is one of a handful of states that technically allows electronic wills. The requirements for making a valid e-will can be elaborate, and the concept is still fairly new. As a result, e-wills are still not commonplace. In conclusion, creating a will in Florida is a critical step in ensuring your assets are distributed as you wish and your family is provided for in your absence. Whether you seek legal guidance or utilize online tools like Law Depot, taking the time to create a valid will can provide peace of mind for you and your loved ones. And don't forget that if you would like to get help creating a will, you can contact my friends at lawdepot.com. The link for their website is going to be down in the description of this video. I hope this video was helpful. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe.